What's going on, guys? I hope you're doing well in the Street Fighter event. You can tell up there by my Ruby count that I'm kind of like struggling, but I'm kind of getting to where I need to be. But I think the most important part here is my Jamie. My Jamie just reached A5, and I think it was pretty achievable. Granted, I feel like I probably got a lot of points from the Carnival, considering I ended up pulling a ton of different, like the same copy of option cards and some of the jury cards as well. So I think I ended up getting a lot of Carnival coins like that. Actually, something that I realized, I don't know when this change took effect, but now from 11 to 15, you actually get a lot of prime memory shards. So this is a pretty good way to start building up your Jamie past the level 50. But I'm super happy to have him on level 50 because I have noticed that it's pretty, he's pretty good to the fact that you can push the Tower of Trials pretty high. And if in case you don't know, I think it's every 5 levels or so. It's hard to tell because of the stamp that goes over it. But if you look here at 115, you can sort of see the outline of a ruby there. So I think it's every 5 levels you get 500 rubies. So if you're needing rubies to keep pulling and your Jamie is pretty high, I think A3 should be fine. I think most people should have him at A3 by now. But you can start, if you're kind of low on this, you can start pushing a little bit higher and higher. I started pushing this with Virtual Fighter characters. I think I made it to 105 or 100 or so. But now with Jamie or other Street Fighter characters, you should be able to push higher. I was using my level 90 Jury and my level 90 Guile just fine, and they helped to push. You're gonna need multiple characters because some levels have a lot of shenanigans, so you might need like a balance, a defense, and an attack type. So Jury and Guile and Jamie worked pretty well for me with that. So that's one way to get rubies. So I kind of just want to go over ways that you might not be paying attention to in getting rubies. Of course, I think everybody knows time attack gives you rubies, so try to get SS every day. On top of that, make sure you do your league battle and your absolute war. Make sure you do your league battle every day because that one's affected by how much you do it daily. Absolute war, you can get away with doing a little bit less. So let's keep going here. A couple of other ways to get rubies is to kind of make sure you collect these boxes. I mean, you're probably collecting these and you probably don't realize, but as they stack up, you're gonna be able to open this, and it's gonna be a pretty decent chance of getting rubies. So considering you might have a lot of these stacked up, remember you can actually get 100 ruby drops from these. Yeah, so keep that in mind. And also, you can also get soul tokens from these. So make sure you go into soul quests. Now I gotta remember where that is. So make sure you go into soul quest, and you probably have a lot of older fighters that you haven't leveled up, and you can keep on doing those characters. So this morning I actually did this Kyo, I did this Geese, and I did some of this Terry right here. So I guess maybe I haven't started it yet, but I did start building him up. I did equip some cards. No, I did unlock his cores. Okay, but you can get a few rubies out of this every time you. So for example, every time you queue up here, I honestly wish they would speed this up a little bit. But every time you queue up here, you can get 5, 5, and 5. For each difficulty, you can get different levels of rubies. So make sure you keep that in mind. And when you're opening those boxes, try not to do like all the boxes at the same time, because you will have like 20 or 30 of these, and then you'll have to do them all in one day because it only refreshes your account if you have less than 3 or 0 essentially. Okay, so another way to get rubies is Hall of Elements. If you haven't, you might have completed this already, but make sure you get all the way to level 33, and you can bring that all the way up to 33 for each rank here, each color. So this gives you actually a ton of rubies if you haven't gotten there, so make sure you do that. But I think a lot of us veteran players have already gotten most of that. And then another spot you can get rubies if you haven't beaten it is the card dungeon. Again, just make sure you get this all the way. There's a different one every week, so you might have completed it for one element, but you might not have it complete for another one. But this kind of adds up. It's not as much, but it does add up as you push it higher, so that's a pretty decent source of rubies. And of course, I think everyone knows for the Team Relay dungeon, you could do this every week. The first time you get a whole bunch of rubies, then you can just do it every week, and you get 150 per each boss every week. So make sure you do that as well. I feel like I'm forgetting one other source of rubies. Oh, here we go. This is actually my favorite one. Save the best one for last. Is the weekly missions. So for weekly missions, this doesn't take a week. You can actually do this in 4 days. So, well, I think it might be every 5th day. So once you get to the clear 8 daily missions 4 times, that's gonna unlock it. That's gonna be the most points you get, and it's gonna unlock it so you can finish it. But then you can do all these other missions as well. So the only one I'm kind of missing here is the summon 7 cards. But you can do, so some of the harder ones are the guild battle. Make sure you do the guild battle and time attack. But they're not actually that hard. Guild battle, you can just quit out and it counts, so you can just go in and out. Epic quest you can do in 1 day. Time attack you can just do it 5 times in a day, and then unlock 30 cores. Imprint hammers, use attempt to imprint 10 times. So I think you can accomplish most of this stuff in 1 day, but you're kind of gated by the 4 times, complete the missions 4 times. And so you can accomplish the weekly missions in 4 days. So keep that in mind. I think one of these has a 300 here, 300 rubies, and then I think there's another 100 here. So that's a total of 400 rubies you can be doing. So that's a lot of rubies you can be getting on the daily. Then another source, if you haven't been doing it, or maybe you have been doing it and you just didn't get all the full clears, if you go into the Street Fighter towers here, each one is worth 3, or each one has 3 sets of 5. So as you do these, you can go back, and whichever ones you don't have complete, just kind of, it does add up over time, so kind of go back and do that, and then make sure. And also, I forgot to mention about the Jamie memories. If you're kind of struggling to get the carnival, there's actually more memories than you need. After you get to A5, the memories are going to be just converted to prime shards, so you're going to have more than enough prime shards to be able to level them up. But here on level 25, it's really hard to see. Actually, there it is. It's really hard to see here, but if you click on it, there's actually a memory that you can get from there. So that should be relatively pretty easy to get. You should have them by like A3 or A2 by there, and you should be able to get that without much of a problem. And as this takes me to boss showdown for Guile, you should, I think I had him at A3, and between him and Mukai, I was able to do this relatively easily, but I think somewhere here there should be another memory here at level 43. By this point I've completed the whole thing, but level 43 there's a memory there, and you should be able to do that. There's also another memory in the EX showdown that showed up. I haven't been able to do this yet, but I might be able to do this if I keep pushing them further and further. So that might be another chance to get memories. And so let's go back to the affinity. Let's go back to Jamie. As you can see, in terms of CP, he's ridiculous. He's at what, like 2 billion CP? That's insane. So my Mukai is my next highest guy. I just got him to 80, and he is at almost 1 billion. He's at 900 million. And the thing with him is that it took me a while because I had to get his prime memories, but I got him pretty high. So as I was saying, you can, for the affinity, you can use the affinity to kind of just, I want to keep a few of these around, so I'll raise that up. Just try to max out his affinity. And then you should be able to get all those shards. And so with those shards, I should be able to at least get one, if not two, prime memories from over here. Oh, I'm actually off by 100. So next time I finish the, so there you go. Next time I finish the dispatch missions, I should be able to level him up again. And so for the dispatch missions, what I've been doing is, I honestly just been rushing this a little bit. But yeah, once you, so I have like so many of these saved up, might as well use them. And once you finish him, you can actually watch the ad. Right now I'm using the native version of the app, so it's going to give me the unlock the ad, the free ads. But you can watch the ad and you can get 120 shards, so that makes it a lot easier. Alright, so let me go into him and just awaken him for the final time, and then, not the final time, but just for one more time, the final time before I end this video. You can just awaken him, and now I have him at level 60, so that's actually pretty awesome. In some ways the game has gotten more generous. Like, this was a relatively pretty easy, at least for me, way to get him to A5, A6, and even further beyond. So I think in that sense the game has been relatively pretty generous. I do know that the Cami is behind a paywall, so is the Guile, but you know, you can't, I guess you can't really have it all. But I think they've been fairly generous. I don't really have much juice left in terms of pulling, so I'm not really sure how much further I can push this. But on using the daily stuff, there's 7 days left, so using the daily stuff, I should be able to get like 1500, like maybe a little bit more. So that should bring me close to maybe level 16 here. I'm gonna keep pulling. I don't think I have much juice left in pulling. I doubt I'm gonna make it to 10,000, but I should be able to get to maybe 8,000 or so. So we'll have to see for that. All right, so that's pretty much it. I think I covered a lot there, so hopefully that helps. And one more source of rubies, I think everybody knows, is story. Most of us finished most of the story already, but doing the nightmare modes, the lunatic, inferno, you should be able to get some more rubies. And they also added some story kind of recently, so some of that I probably haven't completed on nightmare, inferno, etc. So yeah, there's some rubies around that I could definitely use. My goal right now is to try to get my A3 Guile, potentially a jury, maybe A2, A3, so we'll see what happens there. Alright, let me end it there. I think I keep adding more stuff to the video, so I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.